Good morning, Year 8. It is Madam Sullivan here. This week I am going to be showing you how to create your mythical creature that you designed using cardboard to make a 3D sculpture like the ones in front of me. So firstly, you completed a mythical creature drawing using Biro a couple of weeks back, and then last week I got you to design some quick sketches and start to think about how you could convert this design into a 3D design, so from 2D to 3D, in order to make your mythical creature sculpture, looking at the work of artist Olivia Lomanet-Gill. So this week you're going to start constructing your sculpture. You're going to have 2 lessons on crafting and creating your sculpture here. So today I'm going to show you some basic tips and tricks on how to get started on sculpting this. I recommend you spend between an hour to 2 hours this week on this task and send me a progress photo of how you're getting on so far. I would recommend that you don't rush this task and that you don't storm ahead. I want you to demonstrate your learning, showing detail, showing intricacy, so really small details, and showing that you've actually worked from the drawings that you've created. I want it to look like a really impressive, detailed and high quality sculpture. So in order to get started, I asked you last week to collect some different pieces of cardboard. The best that I found was using some Amazon packaging because it's not too thick, but it does have some thickness. It's probably about 1/2 centimetre thick, and it's quite nice because sometimes they have pieces that bend and you can use this to your advantage. I also just collected some other pieces. I got things like old luggage tags. Just general cardboard packaging works really well. So before I even started making my sculpture, I looked at my designs and I looked closely at some of the details and started to think and consider how I could construct some of the details. So in order to get myself started and prepared, I cut out some different bits and pieces for the details of my sculpture, just ready, and ripped up some bits to get started. Then I started with the structure and the mechanism. So that's what I'm going to talk through with you today, and how you can actually construct your mythical creature. So there should be a head, there should be a body, and there should be some detailed features such as a tail, and you need to think about the construction as well. So the way that the pieces fit together, you shouldn't really need any tape or glue. I've not used any tape and glue on the structure, just on some of the detailed pieces that I'll talk about again a little bit further in a couple of minutes. So the way that these pieces work is that you need to cut out anything that has 2 pieces, for example this head. To make it 3D, you need to cut 2 of the same piece. Again, the body here, I've cut 2 of the same piece. So I just used a pencil, sketched out on top of my cardboard. So I just had a piece, haven't got a pencil, sketched out the shape, and then I just cut it out twice. And it's probably easier if you cut your pieces out and then start assembling it, because then you know that they're all going to fit together and they're the right sizes. Then what you need to do is consider how they're actually going to slot together. So the structure of the pieces, at the bottom of each piece, I put 2 slits in the middle like so. They should be the same sized slits roughly, and you can create almost like a bend or a flap with the piece. You then need to put slits in the actual other piece. So all pieces need slits to be assembled like so. Everything needs a cut in the same place. So if you look closely here, it's not the neatest example, but I wanted to show you quickly. So I've cut into the bottom there, and then I've cut into this piece on the bottom there and there, and they just slot together carefully. I've also created wings here as a way of slotting together the body so it stands up straight. You don't want too much weight on your mythical creature, because if it's too heavy, it will fall over. You need to be clever. It might be at the bottom of your piece. You also need to add some extra slits to create almost like a platform for it to be able to stand up like that. Otherwise, it might fall over. And it is a little bit of trial and error. That bit only needs one piece. You could do it on the other side to balance it out, but because mine goes up at the front, my kind of snake shape goes up at the front, it was just floating and it wasn't balanced because that bit was already flat. So you need to consider that bit. And then things should start to slot into place. Now you could just add slots in one side and then slot it in, but it is easier if I was to put that on there and slot it down, it wouldn't go in as neatly as if I was to slot it in and there was a cut in there. So you need to make sure that you cut both sections so it slots neatly. And it should represent the illustrations, the images of your working drawings. And hopefully you've put some notes down and labelled bits and pieces to say which bit is where. This is trial and error. It will take you some time to be able to get this done carefully and neatly. You're going to have this lesson to create the structure, so like so. Yours can be more detailed. See how much you can get done in the hour. I didn't want to over detail this because I just wanted to show you the structure. And then next lesson, you're going to have a go at adding some detail. So all I've done with this piece is I've looked at my drawings. So I was working from this one and also my initial biro drawing. And I've considered some of the shapes that are similar and some of the textures. And all I've done, once I've just cut out lots of small pieces like I showed you here. And then all I've done is glued them on with some just Pritt stick, just normal Pritt stick. You could use any glue, but just Pritt stick. Like so. So then that head will be added on somewhere once I've figured out the mechanism. I've also already put my slits in onto there. But today I really want you to focus on creating this structure. So all you're doing is cutting out your cardboard shapes. It doesn't need to be a really, really large sculpture because it will take you a long time. Mine probably is, my tallest one is just below the height of an A4 page. So it's about 2/3 of an A4 page in terms of height. This one's a little bit smaller. If you think you're going to struggle with a task, do it smaller. But it does depend on the details that you want to add in, because actually, if you do it a little bit larger, it's less kind of detailed cutting. It makes it a bit easier for yourself. But this is the structure, so everything slots into place like so. As you can see, I've just unslotted that bit. There's a cut in the cardboard between the two pieces that join together. And then I've put some slits in these sections, and that will just carefully slot back in, hopefully in there. Slots back in, and you can push it right down. It doesn't matter too much, but it would be good if you get them a similar size, because it looks neater. So that is the task today. I'll put some further instructions in the PowerPoint. You can have a go at adding some of the detailed pieces, but I just want to see the structure completed today. You should spend between 1 hour and 2 hours creating your structure, just using cardboard, scissors, and the slot together method, which I will also clearly put in the PowerPoint. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you create. Make sure they are representative of your illustrations. You're creating a 3D form in cardboard from a 2D, some 3D designs. And don't forget, if you want it to be 3D, say you were doing a head, you need to cut 2 of those pieces for it to be effective. So I hope you have fun and enjoy creating this, and I will catch up with you very soon. Take care, Ray. Bye.